This just in, You're on Mute presents Quarantine Year 1, a sketch improv comedy show written by and starring Kathy Ella, Tony Senator, Joanna Senator, Dan Dore, Jay Singh, Griffin Taylor, and Billy DeClercq. It's directed by Griffin Taylor, and he's a hell of a director. I know because, well, that's what he told me. He paid me to say that. March 22nd, 2021, 7:30 p.m. Be there or be square. You can find the sign-up link at verbotenproductions.com. That's verbotenproductions.com. Or you can find it in the show notes of this very show.
Picture this. A cold winter in Missouri. A Bible study. A poorly shoveled driveway. If someone falls down, who pays? You be the judge. Beyond unreasonable doubt, and Verboten Productions present Laying Down the Law with Billy DeClercq, your host. That's me. Welcome to Laying Down the Law, the only podcast on the internet where comedy uses the Socratic method and the law just keeps saying yes and. Before we begin today's episode, I'd like to introduce my guest. First, she's an actor, writer, director, and stunt woman, creator of the one-woman show American History W, a film performer in Nerd Girls, Tale of Two Dragons, and Back Alive. Please welcome Anna Yosin.
Yeah. Woo! Sweet. Tight.
Next, she's the co-host of the podcast Guide for Clueless Rich People and the co-host of another podcast called Adult Buddy Finders. She just wrapped a Christmas movie, Christmas Staycation. That's out now. Please welcome Kristen Lucas.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Sweet.
I am here.
Cool.
And last but not least, he's an actor, writer, director, alumnus of the Second City Hollywood, where he was the assistant director for the hit show Supportive White Parents and directed Searching for Dylan. He's known for Chicago Fire and Northside Gardener. He is Dan Dore.
Yeah. Woo! Yo, what's up, fools? Hey.
I love when we all clap for ourselves, right?
Well, I thought that was what we were going for.
That's right. Well, let's jump right into the case of the week. This case is Carter versus Kinney.
Sweet.
It's from the Supreme Court of Missouri.
Wow.
1995.
High court.
That's right.
Not so long ago.
Not so long ago. I know. Only 25.
Define high. Is it a high court or a high court?
It's a high court.
Okay.
Oh.
Just to clarify.
Ronald and Mary Kinney hosted a Bible study at their home for the members of the Northwest Bible Church.
Nice.
All right. Jonathan Carter, who's a member of the Northwest Bible Church, attended an early morning Bible study at their home on February 3rd, 1990.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Kinney, the homeowner, had shoveled snow from his driveway the previous evening, but he was not aware that ice had formed overnight.
Hardworking guy.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Carter arrived shortly after 7 a.m., slipped on a patch of ice in the Kinney's driveway and broke his leg. And
Oh,
so he
no.
and his wife, sued the Kinneys. There's some Bible lawsuit here.
Wait,
Sheesh. What part of his leg was broken?
No, he slipped on
That
the
I
ice
don't
and
know.
fell and broke his leg.
Yeah, they shoveled They shoveled the snow, and then we live in California, but
Right.
what I understand happens is when you shovel a driveway, and then sometimes a little bit of snow melts, and then it turns into ice, and then the ice is still there, and 7
Slick.
o'clock in the morning it's still cold,
Yeah.
and so
Didn't salt it down.
It's odd
Not
because if he had salted it, but it didn't take yet, would he be sued, or could he have been? Because he did his due diligence, he's not in charge of the weather. But okay, I shoveled and salted, so
It's also his own thing. Can he do whatever the hell he wants with it?
Yeah. Well, those are great questions.
Thank you, Billy.
Yes. Well, let me tell you some more about the factual background. These facts become important in determining whether there's a duty. So, Dan, you asked about due diligence. That's in the law. That's called the idea of a duty, or duty, depending on how good your pronunciation is. Duty or duty. Actually, that's one of the first weeks in law school. Is just, you just sit around saying duty and duty and duty and duty, and and then if you can't tell the difference, then that's when you go home. That's like the first round of law school survivor.
What if you had a diphthong, like duty?
Duty. Then they send you to Oxford.
Oh.
The
The
duty.
duty.
I want people to keep listening to this
go out.
podcast, so we should move on.
Dan's like, move it along, guys. Move it
Dan's
along.
the editor.
I mean, I can
He's
tell you
sitting.
the case. If you want me to briefly tell you the jury case, I wasn't asked to be on the jury.
Yeah, well, let's hear about Dan's jury case.
Basically,
Yeah,
it was sort of
Dan,
like
he's
that.
trying to tell it.
Well, it was the winter. It was the winter, and someone had backed up, and someone was pulling in, and then so I was on the jury, and they were telling us a story, and then I said, and they're thinking like, it's a toss up, and I was like, and I wasn't trying to be a smart ass, I was just sincere, and I said, well, it was an old lady, and I go, well, they go, it's a tie, sort of, right? And I said, well, she's an older lady, so if she gets injured, it's going to take her longer to recuperate, and And the guy was like blown away that I had sort of said that, which is true. A young person's going to heal quicker than an old person. Sort of like this guy at the Bible thing falling down on the sidewalk. If he's an older person, he's going to take longer to recover. But I had said this in the jury, like, yeah, she's going to take longer to recuperate. And then the guy's just like, I could see in his eyes, he was not expecting that. And then I was asked to leave. So they did not pick me. They did not pick me to be on the jury. That's all. And that's the end of my, I have a related story. That's it. God bless.
Well,
everybody.
that's an interesting. It doesn't have anything to do with this case, but it's an interesting doctrine. We'll talk about this because it came up and you brought it up. It's called the eggshell plaintiff rule. And so the idea is that you take your plaintiff as they come. So if they are older or frail, or they take longer to recover, and let's say they get more hurt than someone ordinarily would. If you're the person that hurt them, you're responsible for all their injuries, regardless of whether they are made out of eggshells or not.
I do not agree with that.
Eggshell plaintiff.
I know.
Me no likey.
That's what these lawyers have come up with over the years.
I mean,
So if
because
their
you can have
bones
a
are made of
50-year-old
glass, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
That's
or
right.
like let's say 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 50, 60, 70, but you have one person that has done their due diligence in their own personal life and have taken care of themselves. Therefore, if they get in an accident, they're not going to be as injured. So they get screwed over because they've taken care of themselves. Whereas a person that hasn't taken care of themselves now gets all this money because they haven't. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
what are they if they're not an eggshell? What are they, like an ox skin? Like what's real?
Right.
Yeah.
Leather
strong?
skin.
No.
Leather skin. And let's
They're an
let's
eggshell
roll this
for
way.
luck.
Let's say if you're running across the lawn and you're wearing shorts, you might skin your knees. But if you're running across the lawn and you fall and you're wearing jeans, nothing's going to happen to you, So one person was doing their due diligence and protecting themselves with clothing, and the other one was not.
Jeans.
Now, I'm saying I don't know how in depth they go.
Or one person could just wear bubble wrap and walk around and, then they don't get any
Then
money.
they'll never make any money off of these lawsuits. They're too good to themselves.
Well, with your permission, I would like to continue.
May continue.
May continue.
So,
All right.
William?
All right, so the parties are in agreement about the following facts. 1, the Kinneys had offered their home for the Bible study as part of a series sponsored by the church. 2, some of the Bible studies took place at the church, and some of them took place at the homes of church members. 3, the members of the church signed up for the studies in a sign-up sheet at the church. Very important, the sign-up sheet.
The part one, you said sponsored by
Waiver.
the church. So when you said part one sponsored by the church, that I was already thinking that too. So the sign-up sheet also would just add to that.
Very, very important. The sign-up
you.
sheet doctrine. All right. the church encouraged people to sign up for the Bible study, but they did not ask for contributions at the class, and they did not have an invitation open to the general public. Very important. All right. The Kinneys and the Carters had not engaged in any social interaction outside of church before his injury. And Mr. Carter had no social relationship with any of the other participants in the class.
Oh,
Also
trouble. Outsider.
Why does that matter?
Inviting the strangers.
Okay.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if he's a nefarious...
He's the only one who wasn't part of that community, it seems.
Yeah, he seems like nothing but trouble. He probably had a broken leg, and he came there with his broken leg, and he purposely fell down and pretended it was broken there to get his medical bills paid.
Wow, that's like a whole other imaginary version of this case. I think it would be good. All right, here's a final thing the parties agree about, is they agree that the Kinneys did not get a financial or another tangible benefit from Mr. Carter in connection with the Bible study class.
Oh, that's very
facts.
important. Yeah.
Now, here's where they disagree.
Oof.
Mr. Carter says he was an invitee, and the Kinneys say he was a licensee. And they dispute certain facts about the visit, whether they were intending to have a future social relationship. That's interesting. The Kinneys said that they were getting an intangible benefit from holding the Bible study at their house.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
They're not specific about what the intangible benefit is, but I think if you read the Bible, you know
spiritual,
where you're storing up your treasure in heaven, right?
That's
what
right,
they're
buddy.
doing. They were just like adding to that register up there in heaven. Then procedurally, what's going on in the case is this is a summary judgment motion, and a summary judgment motion is where it just goes to the judge. There's no jury involved at all. Sorry, Dan.
Sorry.
You're okay. And so in a summary judgment motion, the judge rules that there's no conflict in the evidence, and they rule based on just the law. Okay. So here, what happened is the Kinneys, the defendants, had brought a summary judgment motion saying that he was a licensee and they did not owe him a duty as a licensee. Because his status as licensee, they did not owe him a duty of care. Okay. And so they were entitled to judgment as a matter of law. And they weren't responsible for a dangerous condition. So then what happens after the summary judgment motion? The defendants win summary judgment. Mr. Carter appeals to the Court of Appeals. I don't think it says what happened at the Court of Appeal, but then they appeal up to the Supreme Court of the state. And the only place higher that you can go is the United States Supreme Court, okay?
Jeez, he's really hungry for this win.
Well, there must have been a lot of money involved.
The guy was really broke, and he broke his legs. He didn't have enough money to pay for medical bills, so that's probably, assuming if that was the case, that's why he would be suing to help him pay for his medical bills. And then Dan said, no, he was probably really rich, and he just wanted more money.
I didn't say he was really rich, but yeah.
But so none of that is
if he were a rich man.
None of that. If his socioeconomic status and his age,
it's not part of the law.
That doesn't matter, right?
Well, I think if you ask any lawyer, the financial status of their client is probably one of the most important things.
Well, for them to get paid, but I mean, as far as winning the case or
case
losing
law.
The case.
Oh! You mean like the law, like actual?
Like relevant. Yeah.
You mean like right and wrong? No,
I mean, because it's people. Oh, he's poor. He needs help with his medical bills. We'll give him more leeway. That you can't do that, right? You can't.
Well, I think that, you probably try to convince the jury with that as that make the appeal to their emotions. It's not legally relevant.
But there's no jury.
Right.
I wonder
if
you have insurance, what's the deal? I mean, because if you have insurance, okay, you broke your leg, you go to the hospital, your insurance pays for it. So did he have insurance?
Yeah,
Is
but
that
what
a thing?
if you don't have insurance?
Right. I don't know what this guy did, though.
And you can't afford insurance.
But what did this guy have?
We don't know.
All right. Well, Dan has just asked a question that I'll have to explain another rule that doesn't have anything to do with this case. That other rule is called the collateral source rule. The collateral source rule has to do with insurance mostly, but it's basically says that if a party is getting money from another source, the collateral source, it's not relevant to the determination of the cause before you. So, for example, if Mr. Carter had health insurance and that paid his medical bills, that's not going to be relevant to the defendant's injury. So if he had like $100,000 in injuries and his medical bills were paid by Kaiser or whatever, his damages still are what they are. The fact that he had insurance and that he didn't have to pay out of pocket for it, the defendant doesn't get the benefit of you buying insurance, basically. And so you think about that, why that makes sense if you're in a car wreck, right? And someone hits you and they're totally negligent, they shouldn't get away with it just because you were smart and paid for insurance. Like, it's not really fair. And so that's the purpose of the collateral source rule.
Someone hit me and then sued my insurance company.
Boo.
No.
That's good.
Someone hit that. No, that really happened?
Yes. And they won because they were like, ugh, it's not worth it. We don't.
Oh, like, well,
after like a year and a half, 2 years, they're like, fine, we'll just pay it. And then it showed up on my record.
Oh, wow.
Someone hit me. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that stinks.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to mention the name of the insurance company, but yeah, I mean, the law and economics aspect of all this stuff is, you have to think about what it costs to pursue the case. I would guess that Mr. Carter was being represented by contingency lawyers, because it is expensive to litigate. And if the damages aren't big enough, then it's really not worth pursuing the case.
Yeah. So did it say what his, like, how severe the leg break was?
That's not an issue in this case because they're just looking at cases usually decide on one of two bases. Either there's liability or damages. So this case is really not about the damages, the amount of money, the amount of injuries, the damages that he suffered. It's about liability. And the defendants under this case, they have been found not liable for anything. So it doesn't matter whether he had $1 million of damages or $10 of damages. If they're not liable, they owe zero. Right. So this is a case that's all about liability and the levels of care that you owe to people who are on your property.
And also, like, does homeowner insurance pay for stuff, or like they're trying to go after like who pays for, like, if that guy won, who's paying for stuff, like the people who own the house or the home insurance if they had it?
Yeah, I mean, in this kind of a situation, if you have homeowners insurance, you're welcome. All you insurance agents that are listening to this podcast, you're welcome. You may send it out. This would be a good time. Send your money. Tweet at Max Headroom Esquire. Yes, if you have a homeowner's policy, if someone slips and falls on your property, you are going to send it to your homeowner's insurance company, and they're going to give you lawyers to defend the case. So probably the Kinneys were probably represented by insurance company lawyers and the insurance company wanted to take this all the way up to the Supreme Court for whatever reason. Probably the damages were pretty big. Otherwise, It doesn't seem like you said, Anna, it doesn't seem to make sense.
Well, I'm just thinking, yeah, because like if someone slips on ice and they break their leg that bad, I mean, they were probably doing some crazy stuff too. Because I have been running, like I went running, and when I was in England, and there I didn't realize there was ice on the ground because I'm not from a cold place, and I felt so
good humble brag.
I felt so hard that like I had a bruise like my entire half of my leg was bruised, and like that was a hard fall, like my feet were flying in the air. So if this guy fell that bad to like injure his leg to the point
he could be an eggshell.
Yeah, he's an eggshell.
He's
an older man.
He might not be a cowhide.
No, he's not.
But then that goes back to the first question, is like, okay, so because you're not healthy, that means it's my fault, and that you walk and get injured? Why do I have to pay for it?
Take Citrical. Sit as in citric and calcium.
No, I mean, I've slipped on ice before, and it hurts like hell.
Yeah, it ain't right. It ain't right.
You Western people. I mean, yeah, if you're walking, you gotta walk a certain way in the ice. You gotta like almost like walk like a penguin.
I didn't know that there was a thing called black ice.
Thank
you.
Very Dan, much. When the temperature gets
Western.
below 60 degrees, we're all wearing crampons here in LA.
I know, I got you.
We're like, I'm like, oh my God.
And now a quick message from our sponsor, Crampons.
Yeah, you just gotta walk like a penguin.
Question.
Yeah.
What does licensing mean?
Licensee? The licensee? Okay. Oh, you mean like get back to the case we started with?
What about Kristen's question?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I have one. I have one in the background whenever we can get to it.
I interject.
Go ahead.
Question.
Go now. What's the question?
You said there was a difference in the future of their friendship.
So let's see. It says it later in the case. One of them thought that they'd be friends in the future, and the other one didn't. I think Mr. Carter was the one. Mr. Carter's the one that nobody knew and nobody liked, and he just showed up. And he says, "Oh yeah, we were going to be friends. We were definitely going to be friends."
Nobody liked
and the
him.
kiddies are like, "No, you're just coming to the Bible study."
Is that the defense in court? Your Honor, nobody liked him.
Really bad.
We are going to be friends.
He was like, we're Christians. We can't not allow people to come into our house.
Exactly. I know, it's kind of like puts like a whole other spin on this church. I mean, the Northwest Bible Church is like, there's like all the bad press about the Northwest Bible Church and the breakdown of society.
So here's the ironic thing though, too. If Bible is actually in the name of the church's title, so they have these Bible studies and then someone gets injured during it, that's a big deal.
Where's that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's a PR nightmare.
PR net. Okay, cool. I know legally.
Bible study where you go to get injured.
Yeah, it's like come one, come all into my home where we will study the Bible. But if you get injured, God help you, I'm not giving you a goddamn penny.
It's a new spin on Bible beaters.
Hi, I'm Attorney Bi.
Hi, I'm Attorney Bill.
Hi, I'm Attorney Beaters of
Bi, Bill, and Beaters, LLP. If you've been injured in an accident,
you need someone who doesn't take smack.
But someone who gives it. Email BibleBeaters.org.
Our name says it.
Our actions prove it.
If we don't win the case, we will beat your defendant defenseless with a Bible or holy text of your choice.
It's not money.
But
hey, an eye for an eye.
Email
BibleBeaters.org today.
It's a sin if we don't win.
We'll beat him with a Bible until you feel just again.
Bible beaters. Why would you want to have a Bible study at your house if you can maybe get sued? So, you know.
I agree. I just think about all the times I've had people over. Like anytime you have someone visiting your house, if they leave your house, you could be liable for what happens outside. That's sad.
Sort of like with teenagers. You got teenagers and they're drinking in the house, and then they're leaving. You have a party. You have 3 or 4 people who are drinking and driving. Like, yeah, you don't want no part of that. So no parties.
No parties. So no hanging out. No wonder we're in quarantine. Let's never be friends with anyone ever again. It's for our own safety.
Okay, well, Dan just brought up another legal doctrine called social host liability. And I'm not going to get into social host liability.
Wait, did you ever define what licensee means? You just didn't. No? Okay.
No, I'm so busy. We've been so busy riffing that we didn't even get to the 3rd paragraph.
I'm going to bring us back.
We're breaking down the law. So what we're doing.
All right, so so we're laying down the law. We're also laying down the law and going other places. So the key question in the case, right, is whether Mr. Carter is a licensee or an invitee. And the court points out that's a legal question. That whether someone's legal status is licensee or invitee, it doesn't need to go to the jury. We can decide that because the court can decide questions of law. The jury is the trier of fact. So sorry, Dan, we don't need you here.
No.
He's a
You're
trier
off the
of
duty.
fact.
It's the only time I was ever asked for jury duty. So.
All right. So traditionally,
they put you on a no-call list.
Mm-hmm. So there's 3 classes of people who come onto land, entrance onto land. There are trespassers, there are licensees, and there are invitees. Okay, so a trespasser, all of them are all entrance onto land or consider trespassers until they have permission. Okay, There's no allegation here that he's a trespasser. If he's a trespasser, basically you're allowed to have traps and alligators and, wire trips and guns, and basically Home Alone 2. You can run that out of your house. Trespassers, you don't owe a duty of care to them at all. Okay?
I just want to say I actually thought of Home Alone 2 when you said the guy slipped on ice.
Also Home Alone 1.
Oh, is it Home
Also
Alone?
Home Alone.
They do it in both.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a good gag, right? It definitely bears repeating.
Funny to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's trespasser.
Trespasser, yes. So, hold on, I got to put my glasses back on.
We're keeping him on track.
For those of you who are watching this on the ears, I'm now putting my glasses on. And I now have my glasses on using your ears. You know now that I have glasses on. Okay.
Like these 80s big kind of glasses, aviators without any shade.
Yeah, basically I look like an investigative reporter from a 1970s movie. I'm on the case. I'm going to dig up all the facts and, got a cigarette and it's super, yeah. Okay.
Now, Anna, you're the only one without glasses. Go.
Oh, I'm wearing contacts.
Okay. Perfect. So if you have permission, you're a licensee until the possessor has an interest in the visit such that the visitor has reason to believe the premises have been made safe to receive him. Then that person becomes an invitee.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah, that one's hard.
I'll read it again.
Wrapping the brain around.
So if you have permission to be there, you're a licensee. But you have permission, but you weren't necessarily invited. Correct.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So if you're going to the grocery store.
Avon calling.
I thought if you have an open house, if you're selling your house and you have an open house, essentially that's it. You don't know who's coming in, right?
But you're like if a vampire comes in, you're and he knocks on the door, you're come in. Then you've invited.
Yes, it's the vampire rule. It's the vampire rule. They're trespassers until you invite them in. Vampires don't have licensees. A vampire's never a licensee. They're either a trespasser or they're a goddamn invitee. That's right. That's exactly right.
There's no middle ground.
The question would be, did the Kinneys ever have any contact with this guy ahead of time and say, hey, why don't you come over? Or was it just
just a list at the church?
Just the list that the church made, and then they were like, all right, here's all the people coming.
Right. So, okay. So just let me just back up 1 second and make sure that we are, for those people that are actually listening to this podcast hoping to learn something, trespasser, no duty of care. You can set a trap. It's the Home Alone situation. A licensee is kind of in the middle, and you have a duty to make safe dangers of which you are aware. So if you know about a danger, you have to make it safe. For an invitee, the possessor owes a duty of reasonable care to protect them against known dangers and those that would be revealed by inspection. And then I love the court writes this sentence here. I'm just going to read this to you. This is just classic legalese. The exceptions to these general rules are myriad, but not germane here.
I thought it was going to be longer than that. Okay.
That's just no, it's just a real. The exceptions are myriad, but not germane.
The Germans have nothing to do with it.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
That is the judge's way of saying that there's other rules, but they don't matter.
They don't matter in this case.
There's a bunch of exceptions.
Okay, so
in the law, you have a Venn diagram, and you have one circle is the rule, and then inside of that circle is another rule, and that's the exception to the rule. And then sometimes there's another circle inside of that that's the exception to the exception.
It's inception.
So basically, they're saying It is the inception to the exception. So this question is, what is a social guest? It's a person who's received a social invitation. And both of the parties seem to think that Mr. Carter was a social guest and it's some other category. And the court says, no, he's not a social guest.
Yeah, because y'all aren't friends.
There's no such thing. He's either a licensee or...
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's either a licensee or he's an invitee. The law in Missouri is that a social guest is a type of licensee. Okay. The fact that there's an invitation doesn't make that person an invitee. Okay, so this is the weird part. just because, this is to your point, Kristen, just because someone's invited to your party doesn't make them an invitee.
So then
that's what's weird. It's the whole point of this is that he was invited, he was welcome, but he wasn't an invitee.
In order to be an invitee in Missouri, you have what do they have to physically drive you to their house?
There are subparts to the rule to make someone an invitee, okay? So there has to be some kind of material benefit motive, that it wasn't extended to the public generally.
Like prostitution?
And that there was some
That's Anna's mind.
There was
Is that some ulterior motive?
Getting a phone call.
A benefit?
Yeah, material benefit that you're going to get some
to your
benefit
point,
of them coming to your
not general
premises.
public. It's one person only. Benefit, and there's money exchanged. That's an invitee.
Right. There's not an undefined
Material
portion,
benefit.
not necessarily money, but a material benefit. So storing up your treasure in heaven isn't enough of a material benefit. Okay. Right.
Goods.
Money is one.
If Anna invites me over to watch Netflix, I am just
Services?
an invitee, or is that it's not even in there?
It's a social.
That's a social
licensee
thingy.
because you're not giving me money.
Right. Well, I'm saying how far the invitee
You have
part.
to pay to be my friend.
I guess it's I think it depends on whether Anna was expecting some material benefit from your visit.
Some poems?
If she's like you can come. No, she's like, you can come to my house and watch Netflix, but you better bring me some delicious spaghetti. There's a material benefit expected because she's counting on you to bring me delicious spaghetti. But if she's like, hey, she shows up. Hey, do you guys remember that thing where you would go to classes with other people and be in person and be like, hey, class. So back in the day, you used to be able to walk into your improv class and be like, hey, y'all, I'm going to be having some BYOB in my apartment later. Anyone
sign up on this list?
I'm at, 555 Highland Avenue or whatever. You don't need to sign up on the list. Just, if you're in the class, bring a friend, whatever. So that's but if it's Dan and Dan's bringing spaghetti, he's an invitee, baby.
And
if you bring a 6-pack of beer,
it's delicious.
If you bring beer over, he says, hey, I got beer, but you want to bring your own specialized beer. Now you're bringing beer, so that's like spaghetti.
All right, then are you an invitee?
Yeah, exactly.
You're loud.
But if it's BYOB,
a lot louder than I do.
But then you go back to licensee if it's a BYOB. Licensee, BYOB.
I think it's BYOB.
So
I think
just
BYOB
on this
is a licensee. That's right.
What would matter if they were an invitee? Because it's reasonable care. The guy shoveled the thing. He shoveled the sidewalk. So that's reasonable care, I would say.
They don't actually get into the question of whether shoveling the sidewalk was reasonable.
I thought they were going to break that down.
That's a good point, Kristen, actually. They don't get into the question of whether he met the standard of reasonable care. They just are trying to figure out what his level of duty, what the level of duty is. Do they owe duty? So is it the duty of reasonable care, which is a higher level, or is it just to get rid of the dangers you know about? So no alligator pits. Okay. So if you have the alligator pit in the moat, you got to cover it up if someone's a licensee. So basically the court says that he didn't show up to give them any material benefit. He wasn't there to do business. He wasn't a business visitor. They didn't hold it open to the public like your open house example, that it was people from the church who signed up at church. All they did was give permission to people who signed up to come on their property. And so they say he's a licensee. Now, just a point of correction. I said earlier that Mr. Carter was the one who expected that there would be a future relationship. I was wrong. I'm just going to correct the record right here. I just want to correct the record. He says he had no intention of socializing with them in the future. And that, and the Kinneys thought that they would, but he said my showing up conferred a material benefit on them, that I came to the Bible study. It's a mutual benefit. I'm there to help with the Bible study, and so he said that was enough to make him a licensee,
an invitee.
And basically, the Missouri court says an invitee.
Okay, so here's the other question.
You guys paying attention?
He didn't bring anything. He just brought himself. So he's like, here I am.
And his rickety old bones.
And he's saying, I'm like
and his slippery ass shoes.
Thank you. And the Kinneys probably had snacks and the Bibles and water.
They surely
and
did.
Whatever else. So
Definitely.
it sounds like a one-way
potentially punch.
relationship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Mr. Carter thought that he was bringing some value, and here's what the court said.
You're
This is another classic Supreme Court of Missouri line. It says human intercourse and the intangible benefit of sharing one's property with others for a mutual purpose are hallmarks of a licensee's permission to enter.
Yeah.
Classic.
That's what they said.
So you can have human intercourse and you're just a license.
So
he is a man whore.
They say that is mutual.
No value.
No value. Yeah. So they basically said the judgment's affirmed. And just so you guys know, Judge Covington agreed, Judge Holstein agreed, Judge Benton agreed, Judge Thomas agreed, Judge Limbaugh agreed, and Judge Price agreed.
So the Kinneys won in the end throughout the entire process.
Good.
They won because the court found that he was a licensee and not an invitee. They owed no duty of care to him beyond to getting rid of dangers that they actually knew about. They didn't have to go and make sure that they salted the driveway and made sure that it was safe for him because he didn't rise to the status of being an invitee.
He made it into the house just fine.
Reasonable care.
He didn't have any trouble till he left. He was all getting all excited, all hopped up on the Bible, running out of there, clicking his heels, acting a fool.
Wait, did it say that though? Did we?
On the way out.
No, he fell on his way in.
On the way in.
On the way in. No. He fell on the way in. Very important. He showed up at 7 a.m. for the Bible study, and he's like,
he was just too excited to go in there, all amped up on caffeine and.
I think maybe it was too early in the morning. I mean, 7 a.m.
Oh my Lord! Why on earth?
Early.
Who wants to have a Bible study that early too? But I'm glad for the Kinneys. So the Kinneys, if you're listening to this,
probably before work. Yeah, glad you didn't have to pay because you did everything. You did everything right. You know, you shoveled your drive. You had people over.
Wait, did you say the guy drove there or he rode his bike? Did you say that?
I don't think there was ever a bike in it. Billy was there.
I thought he heard him. Did I just hear that?
To ride my
or was I just imagining that?
I don't remember there being a bike.
Like, for some reason, I thought you said that. I was like, if he was willing to take the risk of riding a bike on ice.
Mm-hmm. You just kind of are picturing Carter as this evil witch villain that's like riding a bicycle around.
We still don't know how old he was, huh?
It doesn't say his age, but I want to tell you that I just looked it up on the internet, and February 3rd, 1990, the date of the injury was a Saturday.
Like getting up early.
That's pretty serious, man.
Yep.
Some serious
7 a.m. on a Saturday. Mr. Carter's like, the first thing I do with my weekend.
I don't care about friendship. I don't care about seeing these fools ever again. Just a one and done.
Whoa. One night stand, one morning stand.
Yeah. And he fell to his broken knee.
You should send this link to the Kinneys. Hopefully you can find them. And then, that'd be great.
We're rooting for you, Kinneys.
They're angry fish.
Just go on Twitter, look up Kinney, send it to every Kinney on Twitter.
Party of 4. Party of 4 believes that you did your due diligence just by letting people over to having an early morning Bible study and scraping your driveway, because that's a lot, man. Shoveling snow, that ain't for the weak, faint of heart. That's enough work right there.
But on the flip side, making the effort to like go out in the snow, in the cold, on a weekend at 7 a.m., like that's dedication too.
Can I be a downer here? That was like 1990, so I think all those people are dead now.
No.
R.I.P. If he was an old guy in 1990, if he was an old guy in 1990, I know. I mean, that was over 30 years ago.
He could be 110. He could be 110.
But it doesn't say. It never said his age.
I know.
This guy could.
We're just making assumptions. He could just have brittle bones. That'd be awesome if they're living. Yeah, it could be like a teenage with bad bones.
I mean, I was in high school in 1990.
I'm saying
like, no. Nope, anyone born in the 90s, they're dead now.
I mean, he
oh no! Well, you said he's an old guy.
Like 55.
So I assumed
no, we
that.
just assumed.
Anna's making
you
up
made
stuff.
that up.
Yeah, I made up the bike. I made up the age.
Dan, you
Anna's
took your story. You took your story about the eggshell plane.
You called him an eggshell, not me.
What else can I make up about this guy?
Okay.
I didn't call him an eggshell. You
called him eggshells.
We can play it back. I did not call him an eggshell. Thank you.
I think I did. I actually think I was the eggshell
I did not.
accuser.
And we can bet money on it because...
I mean, if anyone's making up stuff here, it's me.
Little game for everybody listening at home.
Yes.
He rode a bike. He's really old.
Eggshell.
He's very poor.
Yeah.
He really wants to belong. That's why he's going out in the snow.
He was a rich trust fund 20-year-old who's living right now. God bless him.
Billy is not laughing.
Stop your giggling. Stop it right now. I don't appreciate Tommy's parents have called
these parents.
Principal. I called the Principal Smith. I have told you. I have told you, Tina. I have told you, Tina, 10 times not to call. No, you kids are not listening to me. You're not listening to me. And Tommy's feelings are hurt. When we decided to allow eggs to attend Andrew Jackson Elementary School, when we allowed eggs to attend Andrew Jackson Elementary School, we have to learn to be tolerant of differences.
What does tolerant mean?
I'm gonna...
Now, Johnny, the quiz. Johnny, the quiz is life. The quiz is life. Now, I want you to think about that.
Quiz of life test.
It's a test of life. Now, in our agreements and expectations for the classroom, Tina, you'll remember in our agreements and expectations, we said no name calling, and Tommy's been extremely upset. He's crying in the quad right now. And none of you kids are showing any
Tommy, you
regard
freaking
or
crying
remorse
egg!
at all.
Shell?
Close the window, Joanna. Just close it. Stop yelling at him out the window.
Humpty Dumpty had a Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
We cut to Tommy's home later that evening.
Gosh dang it! When am I ever gonna hatch from this darn dull eggshell? Become a real chicken! Mom! You should speak English! All my classmates speak English! Mom! No one understands chicken in my school!
Kids, let me tell you about what your mother's saying, okay? Your mother's, she just wants what's best for everybody here. Now, you go to school tomorrow. Listen, hee-haw's coming on soon. So I want you kids to quiet down.
I hate hee-haw! It so reminds me of being a chicken, not a human! One day I'll break from the shell and I'll peck the eyes out of all those kids! You'll see!
Cut to lunchroom at school.
I got to break free.
You want a chicken sandwich? We also got some chicken nuggets.
What?
I like chicken nuggets.
I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat, guys.
Then you shall be spared! Caca! Your eyes I'll take! Caca! Your eyes I'll take!
My eyes, man. Oh, shit.
Ow.
Oh, Tommy is sitting on me.
That
hurts, Tommy. That hurts. Your eggshells cut my arm. He's a bully.
Yeah.
Nurse's office.
He's a bully.
Nurse. I was just saying electric.
Yeah, you got some pecks all over your face. Let me just put some Neosporin on that. No, it's okay.
Ow.
My husband used to just rile up a lot of chickens back in high school too, so I've been here. Why don't we?
Do you think I need stitches?
Why don't we give you a little Band-Aid action? Let's not do any stitches. Because we have to call your parents if we do stitches. I don't want to do that. So take off your shirt.
We cut to the Carter's house.
Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, is Tommy there? Is this Tommy? Is this Tommy? Is Tommy
yes.
there? I want to talk to Tommy. Tommy, listen. Me and some of the other nerd kids, we wanna get together and fight back against the bullies. You in?
Yeah, I already kicked the ass of a few guys. Man, I freaking went off on a couple guys talking about eating my family right in front of me just because I'm an eggshell.
Yeah, we totally saw that, and we think you're like the most strongest, coolest kid in school now.
Thanks.
And we want you to be our protector.
Okay, well, just you wait. As soon as I break through this shell, I'll be really using my beak. Right now, it's just my shell slicing people up, and soon I'll have a full-blown chicken, or like a baby chicken. But still, I got a beak and some there's a lot of things going on in the shell that you can't see, but it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We'll cut to Dairy Queen outside. There's a lot of cars out there, a lot of hot rods. Yeah, man, that's my right there 70 GTO, man. I'm gonna race a chicken for this pink slips. You know what I'm saying? See these?
Oh, that's really amazing. I remember I tried that with my 1957 Mustang the other day. I lost it to the chicken, and hopefully
you lost to the chicken.
I have to get a job at the Dairy Queen soon. Yeah,
all the chickens I race against, they peck the gas pedal. So, like, they don't put it down a lot. They just peck at it. So they never win. You must have raced some super chicken, man.
Oh, yeah. He was actually, it's funny you mentioned that. He was actually super chicken. It was like, he was like wearing that, like, his S on his shirt and stuff.
I would have advised
you I could totally
that.
beat him because he's chicken.
I would have. Yeah, man.
Well, I didn't seek your counsel.
When you see a chicken pecking the gas pedal, you're
better.
like, I'm going to win this easily. But you don't, I'm going to advise you later on, is what I'm trying to say. Dude, I have 86 cars.
Racing chickens.
Because I've raced them all for pinks.
Wait, is one of them my 57 Chevy? Did you win it from the super chicken?
Oh, yeah,
I got that red with black trim?
No, take it, man. Dude,
you
take it.
son of a gun.
Yours. Yeah.
Oh, this is like the greatest day of my life. Thank you. I thought I'd never get that car back. Oh, here's that chicken. He's going to race you now. I'm going to step off because you clearly know what you're doing. I appreciate
Why are you running away, man?
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm not afraid to speak chicken now. I've embraced my full chicken form, and my leg is very strong from kicking out of the shell. I used to be beat up. Now I'm beat down.
Hey, wait a second, man. Is it your left foot or your right foot that's strong?
Don't you want to know? I never give my driving secrets away.
Shit. Because you can be really good on the brakes or really good on the gas.
You're about to find out.
All right, boys, stop arguing, and you're gonna race right now. I'm gonna
Wait a second. I want to switch to the red car with black trim.
Get set. Start your engine. There's no time for that now. Get set.
Go. I think I'm doing pretty good.
Not as good as me.
There's a cliff as they approach.
I forget if we're turning off the cliff or not.
The wind sailing through their hair.
Wait, what's that in the air? Is that?
Wait, that chicken can go off a cliff and fly.
That's
I believe I can touch the sky. about it every night and day.
He's a little chicken.
Tommy's writing a song.
Flying.
He's gonna sell it to R. Kelly.
Tom, he's flying and he's writing a song. And oh my God, is he wearing a shirt with an S on it? Whoa. Whoa. I am beginning to seriously regret bullying
And
him.
yes, son, I did lose that race, but I grew up to have the Ford Corporation.
Cut to.
Thanks for explaining that, Dad.
35 years later, Tommy is now the president of the United States.
Wow.
Well, the chicken was born in America, so it's legal.
Bark. I speak chicken. I speak English. I speak.
It's the Air Bud rule.
Excuse me, Mr. President. We have this important document to sign. There's this case that has come to the Supreme Court about a guy slipping in the ice in Missouri. Is this something you want to hear about?
I'll tell you what, based on my knowledge of all laws and all things, because chickens actually know more about time than any human being, I can tell you the guy who slid is a real jerk. He's probably riding a bicycle, even though it is never stated, and his bones are brittle. Probably due to his old age, even though we don't know for sure how old he is.
It says that he might be an eggshell. Are you okay, Mr. President? Do you need some help?
That's a trigger word for me. I've asked specifically. No, I never say that.
And we're live on Fox News right now. Coming to you, many people are asking questions about the provenance of this, of President Chicken, President Tommy Chicken. He's apparently abusing his authority and power. And many people are asking questions. Was President Chicken born in the United States? Is he a human? Is it constitutional to elect him? We go now to one of our experts in the field, a legal expert, Michael Holcomb, who's going to tell us more about the constitutionality of chickens,
listen,
whether or not they can become president.
I've been asking everybody all around town, is the Air Bud rule in effect? Now, Air Bud was a dog, and he got to do a lot of different things because he was a dog, and it wasn't in the rule books. So people are saying dogs are just like chickens. So, Air Chicken, Air Bud, ergo, it's legal.
That wasn't the analysis we were expecting here on Fox News, but it appears there is a chicken in the Fox house. Let's stop right there.
I didn't know if our legal debrief
right
was
that
longer
was
than usual, which was great.
Yeah.
And that's what people wanted to hear. So the improv was shorter, but the legal debrief was more meaty this week.
The third part of the show is laying down the pretense. This is where I'm going to ask my guests, my friends, my co-hosts, some real deep questions. And I'm going to throw the first deep question to Anna. Anna, now if you assume for the moment, that heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You want a cocktail? Come on in. I don't know.
We're still drinking in heaven.
That's right.
Why not?
God bless her.
I mean, I guess our bodies wouldn't. Why not? Why not? In my heaven, we get to have really cool bodies. We can change them anytime we want.
And drink as much as you like, and nobody ever gets drunk.
No. That's hell.
All right, my next question is for Kristen. Ready? Kristen, if you could interview anyone from your life, living or dead, but not a celebrity, who would it be and why? Anyone from your life, living or dead, not a celebrity.
I can interview anyone, not a celebrity. They're in my life. They're alive or they're dead. Who will it be? Sheesh. I don't know. I just lost my pop recently, so I guess he's kind of heavy on the mind. Be nice to chat with him, get some answer some questions about his life, and I'll give him an old interview.
That's cool. what would you want to ask him?
Well, we learned that he was going to pass, and so I had some songs that I wanted to get from him, and it just happened too quickly, so I didn't get. He always sang these really weird, obscure songs. So I wanted the song list from him. So that'd be a top question. Yeah, and I mean, if you're asking them if you're interviewing them post-mortem, you always want to know what's going on over there, like a medium. It's like, hey, how's it going? Did you see wife? So is he hanging out with her? How's that going? Those are some of the things I'd want to know.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. That's a really cool answer. I appreciate that. I'm gonna throw a question to Dan. And then we'll kind of wrap it up. But nice. Dan, what's one thing you wish you had known as a kid?
As a kid or as a teenager, it could be slightly different. As a kid, I mean, I don't know. I as a kid, I think so. Here's what I would tell myself, especially now, because there's like Me TV and Antenna TV. There's like TVs with all these old shows. When I watched TV when I was younger, you'd think like, oh, I got to watch every episode because it's so important, And you'd probably go back and be like, you know what, kid? It's really you watched a few episodes of WKRP in Cincinnati. You got the gist of it, but no one's memorized. No one cares if you've seen 50 or 75 episodes of WKRP in Cincinnati. No, it's like, I think I watched a lot of TV as a youngster. So, but then you think it's going to be super important later in life. And like, yeah, it's not really that important. It's nice that you know the stuff, but you don't have to like watch every single thing. Or I would even tell myself, there's going to be DVD sets, or there's going to be Hulu, and it's going to have every episode on there, so don't worry about it. You don't got to tape every episode. So ease up.
Yeah. Or maybe just tell your younger self to invest in Hulu early.
Maybe. Don't worry about hoarding all this. You don't have to even hoard all this stuff. You don't have to have boxes and boxes of VCR tapes because you don't even need it later on in life.
Oh, yeah. I still have a VCR and some old VHS tapes just for, in case I'm like, I want to watch Star Wars and I can't stream it now.
It's all on Disney Plus.
Not the 97 Star Wars versions, is it?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, this is the 97 version. Wait. Oh, both versions?
Not the Greedo. I have the pre-Greedo shooting first, 97 edit.
Uh-huh.
I mean, whatever. When they released them in theaters in 1997, they released them on VCR tapes.
Yeah.
And then those ones do not have Greedo shooting first. So I have that on VCR tapes.
First. Yeah.
So I only have a couple VCR tapes. Okay.
Wait, is the Mandela?
So I think maybe you should change your advice right there. What?
Not at all. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later since we're winding down on time. There was an edit that George Lucas made with Greedo shooting first, but those were later on. So people are trying to get the pre-Greedo shooting first ones. So it's not a Mandela effect. There's both versions out there.
All right. Well, I thought that would be funny.
I know you're funny. So we're wrapping it up. So I don't want to take away too long.
Well, I want each of you to just give a shout out. Where can people find you, or what's coming out next from you that you want people to know about? So we'll start with Anna.
Okay, my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is all under my name, Anna Yosin, 2 N's, ANNAYOSIN. And the next things that are immediately coming out are a bunch of different cool fight scenes. So
sweet.
That's what we're working on. But working on a web series that we haven't started. It was pre-production. So yeah. So I don't know when
awesome.
That'll come out.
What about you, Kristen?
I'm on the social media at the Kristen Lucas, TheKris10Lucas, the Kristen Lucas, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, Rizzle. That's everything. I'm on YouTube, but I don't post that all that often, so forget it. Unless you want to go there, that's fine too. And my next stuff, it's podcasts come out weekly, and on all the places that you listen to podcasts, and yeah, just follow my socials for stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much. How about you, Dan?
I'll just give you one thing. It's called Rizzle. It's like TikTok, but not really. I don't know. But I have stuff on there. He says my username is Danny D. That's it. It's just D. Danny D.
Danny D.
That's it. Danny D.
No ones, no zeros.
I mean,
no ones, no zeros. I got in early, so I got an easy name. So I was,
it doesn't get more American than that.
Danny D. Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
So, and hopefully on the Twitter, when he posts this, our stuff's below there, and God bless everybody.
All right, I want to thank all of you. Thank you for being on the show today. Thank you, Anna, Dan, and Kristen. Laying Down the Law is a product of Beyond Unreasonable Doubt, produced by Jeffrey Feitner and Verboten Productions. Our music is Galactic Damages by Jingle Punks. Our cover art is courtesy of The Mighty Q. I want to thank all of our listeners, and if you're enjoying the show, tell a friend, subscribe, write a review, leave us a rating, 5 stars. It helps us reach more people, and if you're not enjoying the show, I don't know why you're still listening. Thanks, and feel free to tweet at me at Max Headroom Esquire with questions, comments, or suggestions. And I'm your host, Billy DeClercq, the Dave Letterman of the courtroom.
And shovel your sidewalks.
Put salt.
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 Okay.